Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be coming to you live here in Dallas from the FEM Americas Summit. It is crazy. We're wrapping up kind of day 2 here. I've got Krista Caldwell with me here. We've got a ton of amazing corporate and service provider partners that are going to stop by and say what's up and kind of share some insights. So get in the comments, ask questions, check in. I want to know who you are, where you are, hit that like button. But let's get into it. Krista, what's your, how would you describe the vibe here?
Lots of energy today. Everyone seems really energetic, happy to be here, happy to be in Texas, and just exchanging so many great ideas.
Yeah. And we started the day in the right way today, didn't we, Krista?
Yes,
How do we start the FEM program today?
Yeah, several of us started today with a yoga class by the pool.
Yes.
So it was a good way to kind of have that centering, have a moment to take for ourselves before the chaos of the day started.
Yes, so, beautiful.
Yes.
Love it. And there was a bunch of people out there. And what is yoga by the pool in a conference kind of quasi-professional setting? It's something that we don't always see at every conference.
Yeah.
Why was it important, to FEM and to you to kind of put that program together?
Yeah, so this year we were just kind of focusing a little bit more on the wellness of all of our mobility professionals and getting the chance to step away from the chaos, take care of ourselves, and see how those things come together and how we can all take a moment for ourselves, because we don't often do that.
Yeah, and I love it too, because as much as I love the happy hours and some of the parties and stuff,
Yes.
I'm not bashful about that, but it's not for everybody, right? People have different kind of styles. Some people are early risers and healthy people. I'm told. And we need to have programs for them as well, too.
Yeah. A lot of people have said that, they like to get up early, like to exercise and do something. So having the chance to bring them all together was really great. And everyone walked away feeling a little bit more energetic and ready for the day.
Yeah. And that's why you look so much more fresh right now and prepared than I do. But you also did a session yesterday, wasn't it?
I did, yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the session you did yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday was about navigating global mobility with mindfulness. So a little bit of a different spin on a typical conference session. Normally we talk about the technical, we talk about all of the technical sides of mobility. And so this was stepping away from that and looking at ourselves and how we're approaching the work and how we are showing up for ourselves and showing up for others, and our attitude and our presence with all the things that we deal with.
Yeah, I love that. And as much as we talk about the technical aspects, to your point, what I always see in the feedback from conference attendees is the personal development stuff, because it doesn't matter if you're a household goods provider, if you're a corporate person, if you're, whatever your discipline is, we all need to take care of ourselves and become better people and professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we talked about was, if you're setting goals and you're going through processes with your programs, are you also setting goals for yourself? And are you also looking at your own career trajectory and the path that you want to be on, and making sure that you're aligning your goals and your actions with that path that you want to be on?
Yeah, love it. Get in the comments. I want to know what your thoughts are on wellness. Do you practice it? Or are you like me, just buffeted about by the winds of happenings? Get in the comments here. Check in with us. We got Jillian Guzda here. I do practice a little wellness. I try to breathe.
Yes. Well, that's something we started the session with yesterday, was a breathing exercise. So I had everyone close their eyes and take a moment just to bring their awareness to their breath. And I've had so many people come and say, like, so many times we don't think about that. We don't take the time to just take a few deep breaths and get grounded and shut our minds off of all the things that we've been thinking about and just be present in that moment. So it was really good.
Speaking of grounded, I've been hearing a lot about this, like, take your shoes off thing and touch earth.
Yes.
What is that about?
Yeah, I think it's just the sensation of feeling the earth beneath your feet and like really connecting at a different level. And, even shoes, no shoes, it's the consciousness that you're bringing to your body attached to the earth. And so it can be done anywhere, anytime. But I think it's more of the mindset around, I am now focusing on myself and my body and how I'm feeling.
Do you ever foresee a no shoes FEM?
No.
Get in the comments. I want to hear from you here. We got Jillian Guzda checking in. She says, hey, what was everyone's favorite session of the day? I may have to ask that of all of our guests today, but I'm going to ask you, besides the amazing 2 that you did, what was your favorite session of this conference?
Just earlier today, when Karen's from Chevron spoke about her experiences with Israel and the evacuations, it was really good. And a lot of us don't think about crisis management and response and how we have to handle that, especially at smaller companies. So to see how a large company handles that with such care was just really amazing.
Yeah, I also like that. Something about stories.
Yeah.
I think as human beings, we are geared to hear stories, and it just sits with us different. We
Yes.
learn it different,
Yeah.
right? I mean, think about the oral traditions, right? Before we even had writing and the printing press, we were storytellers.
Yes.
Hearing her stories, and it just puts you in the shoes of those assignees in Israel, and how that must have felt when that happened, and what they were going through mentally.
Yeah.
And I love that she pointed out, and shout out to Kerwin there, and Annie and Paul. Appreciate you, Paul, recognizing my sartorial excellence here, Paul Convery. But no, I loved her also the nuance that comes out of that. Like, okay, we had a tax challenge here, and it was in conflict with the immigration challenge we had over here.
Yeah.
And then how do you make sense of that?
Yeah, and
how do you
prioritize all the different pieces you have to coordinate.
and taking care of the employee, but also taking care of the business.
Yes, exactly.
Right, and those aren't always the same thing, right? As much as we like to think that they are, right?
Yeah.
And it also illustrated to me finally, my takeaway was this is at the crux of the importance of global mobility.
Yep.
And not having this readiness and this responsiveness and this capability already in your organization. Because she talked about next day, conflict broke out, boom, next day we were mobilizing.
Yeah, we were ready. Yeah, which a lot of companies aren't. A lot of people aren't. And so it's great to hear this and to start thinking about if something were to happen with us and our employees, how would we respond? So yeah, it's a great reminder to be prepared for the unknown, which happens all the time.
I love it. Kerwin's checking in. Hello, Krista Caldwell. I thank you for your contribution to our community.
Thank you.
We love you, Kerwin. We miss you here.
Yes.
Kerwin couldn't be with us today, but you're here in spirit, and your fingerprints are all over this conference. So thank you, Kerwin, for your contributions. Very cool. And Paul Convery, yes, I appreciate the jacket. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. What's your favorite part of today? What's your questions for people? If you like a particular article of clothing, let it be known. If you have any questions for Krista or any of our other folks stopping by today, we have Elizabeth Minter stopping by. We've got Nami from Toyota coming, and Rob Zeitz, Wicked Smart from Air Inc. We've got a lot of people here. People are breaking down a little bit here, getting ready for tonight.
Yes.
Last question and the biggest question. Emma's tonight.
Yes.
What are you wearing? What are you going with tonight? It's the question. I'm not going to be here on the red carpet tonight. Otherwise, I'd be doing this.
Yes.
Is it Vera Wang? What are you wearing? Is it
Givenchy?
You know?
No, I think a lot of us women are wearing black dresses with a little bit of the 20s flair accessories. So,
nice.
Yes,
very sensible approach
to
the Roaring 20s. Farrell says, I thought we'd see some pinstripes today, Ben. Farrell, I lied. I was gonna wear, I'm wearing a tasteful check. Get in close on that. Yeah, yes. I'm wearing a tasteful check here, which I do believe was in the 20s. No, honestly, Farrell, I'm on daddy duty tonight, Farrell. I'm taking care of the kiddos so my wife can go to her book club meeting. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing tonight. But I'll be there in spirit. Get in the comments, everybody. Appreciate y'all checking in. Krista, leave us maybe with one thought about mindfulness and wellness that we should be thinking about.
So I think the biggest takeaway that I shared with a lot of people is taking the time to pause. So we move through and, we move in cycles, beginning, middle, end, and we just continue to go. And I think the most important thing you can do for your mental health is to pause. Take a break. It doesn't have to be long, but take a pause for yourself to reset before you move on to something else. And I think that that's really important for everyone to remember when we are in an industry that moves so quickly. Yeah,
we are. And sometimes we just stuck in reactive mode, but we need to be more intentional.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. Awesome, Krista. We're going to welcome Nami here. Nami, come on up here. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right here. Nami, come on up.
Hello.
Nami, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, buddies, how you doing?
Good to see ya.
So good to see you. How are you feeling here? FEM in Dallas.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Isn't it cool? We're like a host city here.
Lovely hotel. This is the second year in a row, I heard.
Yes, it is. And it's actually, it was here in 2019. So 3 out of the last 4 FEM Americas were here in Dallas.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think we should do it again here in Dallas, or do you think we should go somewhere else?
Dallas has a lot of draw, so maybe I'm biased.
Draw or drawl?
Draw and draw. Thank you, Ben, for pointing that out. I love easy access to FEM, so I'm a fan of it being here and not having to travel, but I'm always down for a good time. So.
Now, we all know that about you, Nami, and that's one of the amazing parts about you. It's the people in this industry that make it unique. It is a people business. We're here to serve, but tonight's about us. tonight, the Emmas, we recognize the best and brightest in our industry.
Absolutely.
But the question on everyone's mind, and get in the comments if you have other questions. The question on my mind is, what are you wearing to the big gala event tonight?
I like to take opportunities to play. So there's
Yeah.
going to be a top hat
Woo!
and a tailcoat.
Oh,
And what do you call them? Little watch things?
the pocket watch.
Pocket watches. So we're going for it.
We're going with the pocket
Yeah.
watch. That is lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
The tails, I've never worn tails. No, correction. I wore tails when I was 5 years old at my dad's wedding. Yeah.
What kind of tail? Oh, like a tailcoat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a coat and tail. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it was gray. It was the 80s. Things were different.
And they were still cool back then.
Yeah, it was borderline cool.
They were.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. So what was your favorite part? Jillian has a question here. Get in the comments if you have a question. Check in with us. Let us know who you are, where you are. Hit that like button. Rob, go ahead and hit that like. Rob, this is the first time Rob's not checked in on the show. And he's gonna be on. He's like, I'm too good for this. Now I'm not gonna check in. Love Rob. No, what was your favorite session though?
I enjoy corporate breakout.
Besides the
corporate
one
roundtable.
that you spoke at, we're gonna get to that in a second here.
I did not speak.
Oh, okay.
But nice try. Nice try. I was there though. I love the opportunities to speak to our corporate peers and benchmark and problem solve together. So that's always going to be my answer there. It's been fantastic.
They never let me in those things. What
They
happens in there?
don't. Well, you're a disruptor.
I feel like y'all just might play like Yahtzee or something.
We
do. You
do.
actually work in there?
Monopoly.
That's
why it took so long.
That's
Yeah.
why these things cost so much. So what is one area that is potentially maybe the most challenging right now in mobility? What would you say?
I think we're seeing a lot of cost reduction, cost optimization, as they say, and
That's a good way to put it. Optimization.
It is the politically
Everyone
correct
likes
way
to be
to put it.
optimized. Nobody likes to be cut.
Yep. That's absolutely correct. So I think the challenge that we see on the corporate side is maintaining the integrity and richness of our benefit packages while being more and more cost conscious and cost optimal. I think we are lucky to have a great supply chain to rely on to help us problem solve around those kinds of issues, and it's been invaluable to be able to network and brainstorm with people like you.
Yeah. Well, it's really good to see you, Nami. Look forward to maybe hosting this again or seeing you at an NTRP event soon.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
I would love that.
Thank you for being
Lovely
here.
to see you. I like your coat.
Thank you. I appreciate getting a lot of compliments. This shout out to Mr. Vu out in Plano. Vu's Clothiers, very nice. I'm not an off the rack kind of guy.
No, I can tell.
We got this is
bespoke.
This is bespoke. Couture. I don't know if I can say that or not. It's French. I don't even know what it means.
Good.
Maybe Elizabeth Solly's going to be up here in a bit. She's going to tell me if I use that word properly or not. Our Francophile, in-house Francophile. Nami, I'm going to bid you adieu.
Thank you.
And I'm going to welcome Elizabeth Minter up
pleasure.
here. Thank you so much, Nami. Elizabeth, come on up here. Round of applause. Give her a round of applause, everybody.
Hello.
There you go.
Thank you, Ben.
It's
Thank
so good
you.
to see you
Yes,
here.
you too. You too.
Second
Thank
year in a
you.
row, we kind of connected at FEM.
Yes, that's our spot where we meet every year. Absolutely.
It's our
Absolutely.
rendezvous point.
Absolutely.
So describe for people the vibe for FEM this year.
So the vibe was amazing. Everyone was really collaborative. People were talking. The networking was great. The conversations were very engaging. The partnerships with everybody, and just kind of the how-tos and the what have you dones, and just getting to know that information from others. It's been really great.
Yeah. Get in the comments. I want to know what your questions are here for Elizabeth and our guest today. But I'm going to ask you, Jillian Guzda asked on our team, what was your favorite session and why?
I love the technology and the transformation part of it because that is one of the things that, our organization as itself is doing. 2024 is the year of growth for us. And so we're taking this opportunity to continuously transform the organization, as well as bring in new technology from an AI stance, as well as a HRIS stance, payroll, and really putting all of the stuff into one group.
Are you using AI in your day-to-day now? That's been a big question. I've seen a lot of straw polls going on at these conferences. We're show of hands, who's using AI. question, are you using AI in your day-to-day?
So I'm actually not. The tool that we have brought in this year has the resource to do so from the recruitment side of things. But right now we're still doing it the manual way and reviewing and having that touch point on people. So that way you don't miss anything and have that opportunity.
Well, I mean, recruitment is a really good part. And we do a lot of recruitment at Como, but I mean, that's a really good point you bring up. And one of the biggest complaints we hear from candidates is I'm getting screened out by the ATS and by the machine, right? And so, do you think that maybe something would be lost by delegating that or augmenting with AI versus looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's going that way regardless. So we're going to have to embrace it. I think just people are going to have to learn how to word things in a certain way in order to hit those key words, so that way you're not kicked out. But call me old school. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still like the personal touch and kind of review things because, again, you can look at somebody's resume and they may have an experience on there that could correlate to what you're looking for and use it as an opportunity.
Yeah. And we have people taking down booths around us now. So there's like clanging and stuff. Yeah, I'm with you too, though. Like, I'm very resistant to. I like to think of myself as forward thinking and innovative and all that stuff. But I'm also like, I don't know. I like the humanness of it. I like to look at it and get a feel for who the person is. And I'm also aware in my frontal lobe that I have biases, and they're probably I'm imbuing the way I'm reading this resume or whatever with these biases. But I don't know. I feel like that's like part of the sauce. So it's hard for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. And I think that's just one of the things as professionals, as we continue to grow, new employees coming up that are, joining our teams, et cetera, just making sure we're still instilling that old school way as well. And then also going back. So some of the things that I do is like we have knockout questions. So if they're knocked out,
what's a knockout question?
So do they have certain requirements or do they have the experience? And so going back and looking sure, did they really answer it right? Or was there something that's viable that we could use and use them, in a different role? So I'm also still monitoring that aspect of things because, again, opportunities are around us and potentially it may not be the right time now for them, but it could be in the future.
Well, and I see people using it to write job descriptions. Yeah. AI, right? Writing assignments mostly. I see us humans delegating those, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like, so what happens if we see it, Doris? What happens if we, what happens if we use AI to write job descriptions and the candidate uses AI to write their resume?
Yeah.
And, at some point, we got just machines talking to machines, and who's in charge here?
Exactly. And then whenever you have that face-to-face, the commentary or what the AI machine said, whatever they wrote for you, may not match up. And so, again, that's where that human element part of it still comes into play. So to me, I think it's crucial to have that interaction regardless, because you're going to get that true feeling and that knowledge and that do they really know what they're talking about moment. So.
Is there an application for AI, such a meaty topic? Get in the comments, y'all. I'm curious to hear what you think. Hit that like button, check in with us. But is there an application for AI in global mobility?
Oh, absolutely. There's applications that are built into all sorts of different, whether it's recruitment, whether it's immigration, whether it is even like relocation stuff. I mean, there's definitely opportunities for AI to be built in. Even the chats, help me here whenever you do your chats. That's AI. So there's definitely, that's the way the world's going for sure.
Yeah, are we going to have, the chat bots, educating transferees on their policy options and answering policy questions, and a lot of those, I don't want to say simple questions, but
the 24/7 support.
Yes,
that's where it's going to be at.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. What is the one thing I like to ask our corporate partners? Just like, what is the one area that maybe is the most challenging right now in the global mobility? It spans so many different disciplines.
Sure.
And things. What's the one area of challenge?
I would say more change management. I think just trying to transform from what people have done in the past, as well as within organizations. There's things that are changing every single day, and it's one of those things where we have to embrace it, and we have to make sure that we're expressing it, we're discussing it. You've got everybody at the table, because I think that's where it's key, and it's going to be successful to make either a new policy, a new process, etc., work or not work. That's where the successful part will be.
Change management. That's funny. I mean, that's what it was when I was, in my 20s, getting into
Yeah.
working world, the change management. I mean, that's one of those very human things, right? Where we're still, indispensable. So, but the rate of change has just been
It's crazy.
explosive.
It's crazy. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
fast. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been awesome. It's so good to reconnect with you.
Yes, you too.
Elizabeth.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much. We've got who are we gonna pick on next? Rob's been waiting. We got Rob Zeitz coming in from Air Inc. He's wicked smart.
Thank you again.
Hey, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for being here. It's great, Rob. Come on, how you doing?
I'm good, Ben. How are you?
Look at him. We got him here in the flesh.
I'm here in the
I always
flesh.
see the avatar. I see the comments, the witty jokes, and
I am not
and now
AI.
we've got
I'm a
him.
real person.
He's a real dude,
person.
Rob over here. How's Texas treating you?
Oh, it's good. I love Texas.
Yeah.
People are nice. It's it's a little warm here for me, the
Gosh,
weather-wise.
it's toasty.
But the
It's
warm
even warm
people.
inside right now. I'm like, ooh, I'm schwitzing over here.
But the warm people, Ben.
It's actually not the weather. It's our hearts that you're feeling right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I noticed you post some really cool food photos. What's the best thing you've eaten since you've been here?
You know what?
On this trip.
The French fries in the hotel here are
Oh.
amazing. Yeah.
I heard the fries are good
Yeah,
here.
good
Somebody
fries.
ordered a salad with a side of fries.
Yeah. Oh, you have to.
Yeah, the fries. What makes them so good?
I don't know. It's just they were the right amount of crispiness.
Yeah.
Right in that sweet spot.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I might get more tonight.
More fries tonight.
Yeah.
I love it. Is there food that you haven't tried that you want to try before you leave town?
I mean, I was hoping to get brisket on this trip because, when in Rome, I don't think it's going to happen. But, yeah. What are you gonna do?
I snuck over to Terry Black's over there in Deep Ellum yesterday. Highly recommend it. Try the beef rib. It's the size of a small child's arm. It's a pound 0.76, I think it was. But I would highly recommend that. Get in the comments if you have a barbecue recommendation for Rob. You can't really go wrong. It's like pizza in New York,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though, in all seriousness though, what's been one of your favorite sessions since you've been here at FEM?
Well, I got to say, Krista's session on the yoga.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, you hit the yoga this morning. You're one of those brave souls that did it.
It was my first yoga session ever.
What's it like? Was it different than you thought it was going to be?
Yes.
How so?
It was in some ways easier and in some ways more difficult. I don't know how to describe it, but it was normally you feel kind of good after a workout, kind of tired. This one I was kind of like relaxed, but not tired. I don't know how to put it. It was just it was kind of more of a mental component too.
Wow.
And I'll put it this way: I didn't have any caffeine until about 10 or 11 this morning,
Oh, wow.
and I was up at 4:45.
It was the yoga work.
And the yoga just gradually woke me up and got me ready for the day.
That's awesome. Hit that like button. If you do yoga, put it in the comments. I want to know what your secret is. Showing up's probably more than half the battle for me.
Well, I mean, what was great was the way Krista taught it was, it was good for beginners. Like she gave you some options. Like if you can't do this pose, you can kind of do this, semi easier pose and go at your own pace. And that was another key thing.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. If you can get on a video online or something, or talk to Krista.
Try the yoga. Yeah. We had Krista on earlier, and she really sells it. I mean, it's a time commitment too. Getting up, it was 6:45 in the morning. Wasn't it?
That was tough. Yeah.
And I think Air Inc. sponsored the refreshments. I heard as well.
Yeah. So,
my program.
It was worth getting up, definitely. Absolutely.
Is yoga something you're going to take back home and incorporate into your workout regimen?
Yeah, especially I barely have a regimen, but so there's plenty of room for it.
We call it a regimen.
Definitely, and especially things like exercises you can do while you're sitting at your desk and kind of work on your spine, because even if you're in an office,
my spine is jacked.
Yeah, you're sitting all day, you're back to back meetings.
Yeah.
It's hard to find time to do a hardcore workout, or sort of running or lifting or something like that. But so I'm gonna try to find a way to do 5 minutes of yoga in between meetings or something like that.
Well, I always say the Air Inc. folks are wicked smart, and I think Morgan likes that. Y'all should just put that on. That should just be your T-shirt. That should just be like your tag. Wicked smart.
Let's do it.
But so what are some of the things that y'all are solving over there?
Oh, I mean, what aren't we solving?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always curious. I
don't know if you're going to understand
really great impression of Air Inc., but I was I don't always know what you do. I know it's not just the price of milk. What else are y'all doing out
Price
there?
of orange juice.
Price of orange juice.
No, I mean
tap
it's
water.
I'm going to give you the classic mobility answer. It depends, but
Love
I mean, I think
fell into it.
our clients are all kind of trying new things and trying to find ways to be more creative, to focus on employee experience, cut costs, and so I think we're mainly just trying to run over these hurdles, through them, around them, whatever we have to do. So it's kind of all of the above. AI's been a big topic at this program here today, this week. So kind of coping with that. Karen from Chevron had a great session about emergency stuff, which isn't something that we focus on, but how much do you pay somebody for laundry in Cyprus when they're being evacuated from Israel? That's a tough question. It's a very small piece that we can help with, but so stuff like that.
Love it. Very cool. Let's keep this program going, Rob. This is fun. You want to leave us with a final thought, Rob, before we move on to our next guest here on deck?
You know what? I can't think of anything, but I'll say from the yoga thing is try something you never thought you would try. That's always good advice. I think think of something that you would. It's hard to say. Think of something you would never think of.
Yeah.
If
or something that scares you, kind of.
Do something that scares you.
Yeah. Yoga scares the crap out of me.
Try it out. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
I think you'll like it. So
all right.
Thanks for having me.
There's an easy mode. I like that too. Yeah. Rob, it's good to see you.
Jumping back in the comment section.
Yeah, get in the comments. Thank you so much. There we go. Elizabeth, you over here? Yeah, Elizabeth Sully, get over here. How you doing? I've been practicing my amateur French over here. Hit that like button. Get in the comments here. We got Elizabeth Sully from Jacob Street Partners. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. It's been so good seeing you the last couple of days.
It's been fun to hang out. It's really been nice. I love that about these things. It's like we get a reunion 4 times a year.
Yeah.
At these things, Yeah. What's been one of your maybe kind of memorable moments from this last 2 days?
Well, obviously spending time with you.
Thank you.
I would say actually the last session was really amazing.
Yeah.
Karen with Chevron talked about their experience with getting expats out of Israel. And since we do insurance and risk management, it was right down my alley.
Yeah.
And loved hearing all about that. And then, did love.
What was your risk management spidey sense doing during that? Where were you thinking and going with that?
So I was thinking about our products.
Yeah. Sure.
So one of them is called Group Global Renters. And so we insure expats in a blanket policy so that if Chevron were a client, all of those 45 assignees that were in Israel would have been covered. And one of the things that is included is political violence. So if you can't return back to your home, the insurance pays to replace everything.
Wow. And what's the value or benefit of them being included in one blanket policy or one group?
Right. You have consistency. So everything's in a stable currency. That everyone's compliant and in the program. And then you could potentially have a lower rate than would be available.
So while you might have some a high risk, employee, if they're in a large group, that risk is kind of averaged out.
Right. And the other thing is the corporation is the named insured, so that if the transferee does something that brings about a lawsuit and the company then gets named in the lawsuit, it's all still being held, paid for out of this policy.
So the company is also protected in this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they're the named insured, which means their name is on the paper, and then all of the transferees are the additional insured.
Well, it's one thing to take care of the employees, but it's another thing to also say, okay, but also the company is, so it almost becomes goes from a kind of a nice to have employee benefits, almost a risk management strategy where it's we can't afford not to.
Right. Well, there's still tax advantages in certain companies for having the home in the name of the corporation. So having the lease be in the name of the corporation, and that is a direct line of liability.
Yeah. And it seems like every year there's one or two situations like Israel going on, it's Ukraine, it's obviously, parts of the Middle East. There's always stuff like this going on somewhere in the world. So if you have a multinational corporation with, people everywhere all over, this stuff's going to happen to you every couple years, it seems like.
Right. Well, but also the mundane happens. We got a call last week that there was a company who had reached out to us and then was like, "No, we're not going to do anything right now." Well, one of their executives had a kitchen fire, and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to, they're going to have to write a check for.
Wow. And they weren't covered?
Because they didn't
So, like,
make a
this
decision.
guy's not going to light the kitchen on fire. Most of the time, you're right, except when you're not. Hey, Cliff Bierman checking in here. Check in the comments. Hit that like button. Let us know you're out there.
Hey, Cliffy.
Yes, good to see you. So I want to ask you, besides the last session, is there another session that maybe kind of said, because that last session, I agree, I was in that. I was actually sitting next to you in that one. I love that session, but is there another maybe takeaway or thing that maybe you kind of are thinking about coming out of this FEM?
I loved that there were a number of sessions about AI.
And
I think that AI is a huge game changer. It's the equivalent of the internet. Our life is now going to be different.
It's going to be like the next Google basically for us.
Right. And so I really want to be able to do whatever we can do to harness, to do things as fast as we can and to have them be as high quality as we can. And so if there's any way to use technology to do things better, faster, then I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. I'm still struggling with what the application is. I know that I agree with your statement. It's going to be as big and disruptive or empowering as the internet. And I'm just struggling on where to plug it in to my workflow and my clients' work. I think, we've used it to write job descriptions. We've used it to write, frankly, help people with their resume or other things like that, and they need help. But those are tactical things.
Right.
I'm looking at what are the strategic types of things that we can do with it.
Well, again, it's not strategic, but one of the things that I used it for recently was after Europe, we went on vacation to the south of France. So I said, hey, I'm going to be in Aix-en-Provence for 6 days. Come up with an itinerary, and I like really nice restaurants. Pick out the best restaurants. And so that was kind of
And cool. It worked for you?
The restaurants weren't exactly close to the cities. So that was, unless you were like looking at it. So there was one day that we made reservations somewhere that was like an hour and 20 minutes away.
Geez,
so, I mean, it was a beautiful drive.
So now, do you think that was a defect within the AI, or was that a defect within the prompt that you gave it? Like, could you have said within 15 minutes of a hotel this and that? Or should you even have to do that?
So I believe that it was a defect of ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they should have assumed to know. Well, because, and that's the difference between talking to a human, right? A human would have taken that into consideration, even though it was unsaid, it was implied, or it was, it should be obvious. Because what would you want, right, as a human being? And I think, and it's interesting as I talk to people about these things, and people say, "Oh, well, it's a defect. It was a prompt issue. We got to write better prompts. We got to write better prompts." And I'm like, yeah, but if we're gonna replace the human in that situation, then I need it to think of the things I'm not even thinking of.
Right.
If we're gonna regard it as an expert or as a tool that we can 100% rely on and just kind of trust fall our business and our lives into this thing, I'm gonna need a little bit. But I mean, it's the difference between Yahoo search, Bing, Alta Vista, back in the day or whatever, Ask Jeeves.
You're aging yourself.
Ask Jeeves, we're going to go way back. And Google, right? And that's why Google became the predominant, because they had better search. And I think we're going to be looking for like better results from ChatGPT 8 or whatever.
One thing that I've heard a lot about is several people have said, I'm using Copilot and it's changed my life. And so that's really a new phenomenon that I don't think people were saying last month. I think that it's all been just with a new release, or that
it's just getting better,
and that they're saying it's more holistic, and that we might actually be able to get rid of 3 of the memberships that we have with AI tools. Like we might be able to just pay for the Copilot instead of having a Grammarly or whatever else. And then you had that really interesting gentleman on who wrote the AI tool for LinkedIn.
Applebaum, yes. Yes, his stuff is wild. I mean, he's crazy. First of all, not necessarily in a bad way, but his product is also pretty crazy, right? And I downloaded it and I used it, and I trained the prompt, to be more like me, and it asked me, what do I want to be known for, and what are words that I use a lot, so that, and I said, I remember one of the ones I said, I transformative was the word I gave it. Well, every time I commented, everything was transformative. And I'm like, well, everything can't be transformative. And
Right.
like now we're overusing the word,
Right.
And if I were to do 12 comments per day on posts and 10 of them said transformative, people are going to either think I'm an idiot or they're going to think that I'm insincere. It's not me.
Right.
And I don't know which is worse also. And it's like now people, if I'm leaving insincere, inauthentic comments on your post, how do you feel about me?
Yeah, I mean,
is it negative, neutral? Is it positive, negative, or neutral?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who just don't care.
They wouldn't care. They're just like, oh, Ben left a very bland and cliche comment on my, but yet long comment on my post.
Right, but I think a lot of people would be, annoyed by that. And
I would like the engagement, and I would like what it does from an algorithm standpoint to my comments and whatnot. Cliff saying negative. Yeah, I kind of, but it would be neutral to negative. I would respect it less for sure. I would appreciate it on just like, hey, well, you at least engaged, but I know it's not you.
Right.
So that's weird because the whole thing we're trying to do with social is build trust.
Yeah.
And I don't trust that. I don't trust that it's you. I don't trust that it's authentic. And that to me is more damage. It does more harm than good.
Yeah.
To my personal brand.
But you're right. The AI tools like ChatGPT do have certain words, like unlock. Unlock is one of their things. So, I know whenever I see someone's post and they reference unlock, that they used, ChatGPT.
Oh, because that's just a word that is more common to the machine than it is to us.
In real, yeah. There are other words that are like that.
Oh, they're like in its vernacular.
That are they're hot words right now.
Yeah, let's see. Sandra's coming in here. FEM is always great, and yes, I love the chatter around AI. Shameless plug. Remember that EDC has AI powered tech. Mer said that keeps your data private rather than sending to a third party with those risks. Great convo, Elizabeth. Thanks for checking in, Sandra. I'm sure that was written with AI. I'm just kidding. Hit that like button, y'all. Get in the comments. I want to know what your thoughts are here. Yeah, it's interesting.
And Sandra, I owe you an email, so please forgive me.
You think that was like a passive aggressive, like, hey, email me back. Like, where you been, Elizabeth? We're supposed to connect. That's funny.
She left me. She wrote
Sandra's
me
awesome.
the sweetest email last week.
Yeah, she's amazing. Well, this is cool. It's really nice. Things are dying down. This is the calm before the storm here.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going tonight.
No. So I'm going to ask you what I've been asking everybody. What are you wearing to the Emmas?
So I
feel like Ryan Seacrest, like a very plump Ryan Seacrest. So what are you wearing? Is it Givenchy? Is it Vera Wang? Is it?
Okay, so I had a plan, and that plan wasn't going to work. So Amazon came to the rescue. And so I have
I love it.
Fun Flappers dress.
I love it. I also get my Balenciaga on Amazon. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, but you're always known to dress wonderfully, and the jewelry and everything. I envy your jewelry collection. But Amazon came to the rescue.
They did. So
okay, good.
There was a plan A and plan B from Amazon, and asked my husband which one was better, and and he said they look identical.
They look exactly the same. I have work to do. Get them both. Return one. Very cool. Well, enjoy it tonight. I won't be there, unfortunately. Next year I will plan better, but enjoy it. And we have Sandra's laughing here. Yes, Sandra, we have fun in here. You know it. Thanks for taking the joke. All right. You want to leave us maybe with a final thought before we bring on our final guest?
Um,
Anything we should be thinking about?
I think there was a question about in-person versus virtual events, and not a single person raised their hand wanting a virtual event. So that really, I feel like I'm a little burned out from them, even though they're
It's a lot.
convenient. So that was kind of an interesting takeaway. There are 250 people, not a single, all of them said they wanted to be in-person events.
Until we figure out a way to simulate hugs and handshakes and looking someone in the eye and laughing with them, I don't see how, there's just so much value that's derived from being here in person and just giving somebody a little pat on the shoulder and a little hug and sharing a meal with somebody, and it's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of trust that's built in that you just can't replicate.
Yeah.
So, cool. Very cool. Well, it's good to see you in person,
Great
Elizabeth.
to see you too.
We'll hug it out in there, the very human hug. And we're going to bring up Christina here last to close us out here. Hand it off here. Cliff in there.
Look at this little fuzzy
Talking
thing.
AI. Yeah, it's they call it like a dead cat or something. I feel like they call it. I know, it's very morbid. Yeah, Adam, put in the comments, what is this called? The little fuzzy bit to the mic. It's like a wind cover thing.
Wind cover. It kind of looks like a tuft of hair.
I actually pulled this out of my child and dyed it black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
That's what they're for. Anyway, how are you doing?
Good.
It's good to see you.
I'm tired. It's been a long 2 days already.
And you are the Mexico chapter lead for FEM, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, that sounds like a big responsibility. And it is called the dead cat. Thank you. I didn't just make that up morbidly.
I think that's great. I think there's all these different terms that I need to learn now just because it sounds like a lot of fun. And dead cat is great.
Dead cats are fun.
I told you my story about the cat on the airplane.
Did I tell you about that? No, tell me.
So I'm allergic to cats.
Okay.
I like cats.
My wife
I'm
is
allergic
also.
to them. But there was an emotional support cat on my American flight coming in from Mexico City, and Fluffy was the cat's name, and Fluffy's tail was
Fluffy
fluffed into my eyes and nose. It was a great flight. It was a very great flight.
I feel like an emotional support animal should not be allowed if it causes distress to others.
But the woman needed.
Did she? Could she not? Whatever happened to carrying a picture of the cat?
I want to know. Was
a
the
locket.
Cat
whatever happened to a
the
nice, tasteful locket? Where
Yeah.
you could just look at Fluffy every periodically. Is she in the shape of a heart next to her
Stuffed
heart?
animal.
Like the old
there
days.
were some cows here earlier.
Stuffed animal. My
work,
kids own
right?
no pets, but they have 8 million stuffed animals,
Emotional
and they're
support.
fine.
They're fine, right? So
Get in the comments if you have
dead
emotional
cat.
support animals.
Maybe
I'd like
this came
to.
from Fluffy.
Yeah, I'd
Sorry,
like to
guys,
know why. I think they're just trying to get away from putting it in and shipping in the.
To be fair, I understand.
You understand?
Yeah, because I have a Chihuahua,
And you take her on a
she's
plane
not.
with you?
I have flown with her.
But
she flew to Mexico.
fly everywhere with the Chihuahua?
No, she is not emotional
it's
support
not
Chihuahua.
with you now.
No, because she causes more stress.
Yes.
Then her shaking is not going to calm me down.
Yes.
So no, my dog is not an emotional support Chihuahua, but she is old. She's 13.
Uh-huh.
So if I had to fly with her, I guess to avoid putting her in the undercarriage, maybe.
Let's call it what it is. It's a carry-on. It's not an emotional. Don't get the special vest and all that. Okay, you got to wear the bulletproof
Love
vest
and Reload just
for
took
the
a
Chihuahua.
turn.
I'm sorry. It's late in the day, and I've
Sorry,
had up to here
guys.
with emotional support animals. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Maybe you need an emotional.
I think I need an emotional support for my car ride home.
This is
I have
awesome.
to borrow somebody's cat.
Let's back on track.
Anyway, back on
Sorry
track.
about that.
FEM. What's been your favorite part of the conference so far?
I think my favorite was the opening comments about what Dallas was all about, especially North Texas.
Because you're coming on over.
So it was important to me. I was kind of invested, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I'm coming to Dallas soon, and hearing all of that, what was the statistic? 3 people per minute or something, some ridiculous number of people coming per minute to Dallas to live here, and I was like, oh. I'm that statistic.
You and your family are those 3 people.
We are.
This minute.
I was
1 minute, you will be those 3 people.
We will be.
It'll
I don't know
your
which minute, but it will be our minute. And I'll claim it. And I'm going to put a big plaque up that says that it was my minute.
I love it. No, but it's true. Why do you think people are coming to Texas?
Texas is pretty cool. Barbecue.
first off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went to Terry Black's for lunch.
You did?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
It was
What'd
really
you have?
serious.
What'd you have?
So I had a slice of brisket, which I was not prepared for how big the slice of brisket was.
Yes.
Had some macaroni and cheese. It was
Very
pretty good.
nice. Yes.
And yeah, it was good.
I went to Terry Black's yesterday.
What'd you
Solid. We had a beef rib. You ever seen a beef rib? It's the
much
size of
bigger
it's the
than
size of an emotional support cat.
we were
It
talking
is
about
it
this,
is
right?
literally yes, it is the size of your
You're like,
your
yeah,
forearm.
my
It's the
forearm,
size of
that's how big
this
the
part
meat-
of the forearm.
I feel like
It's
this
the-
is like kind of weird to
No,
show my forearm.
That's the
like,
size
I
of the
should
rib.
careful how
I
do it.
didn't tell you to have a rib size forearm.
Well,
Anyway,
now I
so
do.
a cow.
Is that a compliment?
No, it is a compliment. It's a very good
Cow-sized
compliment.
forearm.
Yeah, not a whole cow, just a rib, man. But no, it's enormous. So it's like a piece of brisket. It's like an enormous piece of brisket with a bone in the middle.
Yeah. So why do Texans love barbecue? What's the deal?
Everyone else does too. They just don't know how to do it.
Well,
That's why they
a
come
good
from
point.
miles away, and that's why they set up shop here. And
You know who I've heard does really good barbecues?
Who?
Vinny Valverde.
Vinny.
I've heard. I've
Vinny.
never been invited.
Somebody tag Vinny.
I mean,
Where's
I
Vinny at?
technically was invited, but
Vinny's?
he lives Pacific Northwest. It's
What?
a little bit harder to get to now.
And Vinny will invite everyone over to his home. And so Vinny's Brazilian, and the
Yeah.
Brazilians have a storied history of these barbecues. They're not going to like this, but I'm going to say that kind of like the Argentinians, where they cook over an open flame. And that's their idea of barbecuing, and it's really spectacular. So shout out to Vinny. There's Brian tagging Vinny. Way to get in the
Vinny,
comments,
where are
Brian.
you?
Brian, tag him on LinkedIn, man. Come on, what are we doing here? Love Brian Rivers. Yeah, but no, Vinny does an amazing job. There's some other good barbecuers out there. If you know any good barbecuers out there, tag them. Chris Lagerman throws down on the barbecue as well.
And I'll be waiting for all the invites. So
Well,
once
you're gonna
I'm
be in
like,
Texas.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm going to be in Texas now. So anyone who's local to Texas that
Yeah.
thinks they know barbecue, invite me,
And you're gonna-
I'll judge. I'll do like a whole judging thing.
You're going to be moving over to those middle cities area.
Going to Fort Worth,
Yeah.
up towards Keller. So
Yeah. So out there, I mean, well, gosh, you got a lot of good. You got Risky's out there, which is okay. There's another one that opened up downtown that's exceptional. But Hurtado's is amazing. That is where Aaron Flores put me onto that.
okay.
It's out in the Arlington area, I think. Phenomenal. So you got a lot.
He has a lot of good recommendations
Oh,
too.
he's
Aaron's
very
like
good.
really good about picking places to go and things. He took me last year for FEM. We ended up at this weird joint. I think it was like the Angry Penguin, One-Eyed Penguin,
Well,
something
it was
about a
angry
penguin.
'cause
It
it
was
was
something
missing an
about
eye.
the penguin. I don't know.
Yeah.
Aaron, tell us what
Aaron,
that was.
get in
I don't
there.
know where
Somebody
you are,
tag
dude.
Aaron Flores.
You were supposed to be sitting here. I
Yeah,
don't know.
taking somebody to lunch here.
Huh.
Yeah, we call Aaron like the mayor of Dallas. He'll
He
show you all
definitely is.
around.
He'll show you everything.
He'll show you all around, but he'll make sure you don't live in the suburbs. He wants you to live in the city of Dallas.
That's what he told me too.
Exactly. He's like, don't
And
go to-
after I convinced him, he was like, "Oh, all right, fine, whatever."
It's just different. When you have kids, you need space, you need schools, you need all the
Yeah,
stuff.
my kid
you know?
needs school.
Yeah,
you know,
he needs
maybe.
school for a while.
Just for a
So what are
couple
you
years.
most looking forward to about moving to Texas besides the barbecue?
I think just not having to travel as much. You know, there's so
Mm.
much to do here. There's so much business, so many companies,
Yeah.
and everything's literally right here. And when I do need to travel, easy airport to fly out of, obviously Dallas, 3 hours from almost everywhere that I
Yep.
would want to go or need to go in my territory. And
Mhm.
I'm excited. I'm also excited for like more family style, you know,
Mhm.
like the suburbs.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm excited
Yeah.
about the suburbs. I
Yeah,
am.
block parties and stuff like
I don't know,
that.
summertime
The
pool parties.
pool party is
Yeah.
going to be pool action.
It's been a
is lit.
while since I got to do that, and I never got to do that with a kid. So it'll be cool to like. Hopefully, I make some mom friends.
Yeah,
and
you will.
do
You
all
will.
that fun stuff.
So when are you officially moved to Texas?
I don't know. It's still up in the air.
It's up in the air?
Up in the air. You know, Eli's still sick, so we're still
Oh.
playing the like wait and see thing.
Okay.
But we, the goal is by March of next year, no later
Okay.
than March, because obviously,
Okay.
like I want to get some time here, and, you know,
Mhm.
get settled, and then start the new school year. So he has to be
Mhm.
here in time to start kindergarten.
Yeah,
So I don't know when you guys start school
we start
year.
school in August.
Right? You guys
Yeah.
have long summers, man.
We do
I
have
heard
long
your kids
summers.
are getting out of school like this week.
Today was my oldest son's last day.
Why? It's May.
They have to stop sometime.
Yeah,
But
how
they
about
start
July?
they start in August, they end in May. Whereas up north, we started in September, like after like Labor Day, and we would end in June.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, they
I think
have
I would like my
ridiculous.
kid's schedule in Mexico. Can I keep it?
What's that schedule?
He goes to school in August and he finishes in July. Like, it's a good
Wait, so
schedule.
does he ever have off?
Yeah, he gets a month for Christmas.
You know, to be honest with
he
you,
gets a month for April.
That's
and,
what you should do,
yeah,
because it's 2.5 months in the middle of summer.
that's
It's
hard to
too
get
much.
childcare.
It's too, and the kids just get stupid. 2.5 months out of school, you forget half what you learn.
Yeah.
That's why we're behind. It's crazy summers out here. We gotta keep these kids in school year round from 8 to 5. You know, it should mirror our schedules as working
Yeah, just make them
adults.
little adults. It's
Yeah,
fine.
little adults.
They don't need any time
Yeah.
off. No free time, no free play. Just
No.
go to work,
The
kid.
kid's overrated.
My kid thinks it's work anyway. He
Yeah.
says it's work. He's
Says
like, I'm
it's
going
work?
to work.
Let's go to work.
I was like,
How old's Eli?
He's 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, so he thinks it's work. He's like, Mama goes to work, and then I go to work. And I'm like, no, you go to school. And he's like, no, I go to work. They tell me I work there.
I want to form like a relo group with just the kids. Like you bring the kids to like a kid friendly.
They were talking about
event.
that in the session this
Oh,
morning.
really?
Remember? Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so in the morning session, William Taylor was sharing about his 2 kids that he left back in San Francisco. He's on his way back to them. Can't let them alone for too long.
Yeah.
And everyone was sharing like it would be kind of cute to get all the relo kids together in a group and like ask them some questions about what their mom and dad do, and just see. Like, I think it would be adorable.
I tried doing something like this where I tried doing a love and relo with my son and Hosea Botley's son when we were together. And I thought it'd be the cutest thing because they're super cute individually. They had zero interest in this topic.
Eli would love that.
They were like,
Eli
I want to talk about aliens,
loves-
Pokemon.
Well, yeah, he would want to talk
YouTubers.
about Pokemon. We got into Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I gotta admit, I
Yeah.
spent a lot of my time here this week. I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I have to collect the Pokemon.
Do we have
for 'em.
Pokemon that you don't have down there or something?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like, and I feel bad because like I want to share this with Eli, but like he's just gonna look at his Pokédex and be like, I can't believe I'm talking about Pokédex. But
why
I mean,
not?
this is a serious thing.
That's what we're doing
Like,
out here.
He is obsessed with Pokemon and Ninja Turtles right now. And Ninja Turtles, like that takes me back. You know,
Yeah, that's our
I'm an
childhood.
80s friend. So I'm like,
It's our
yes.
childhood. Well, this is exciting. It's gonna be great having you here in Texas and seeing all the NTRP
Excited.
events and FEM events and everything that we do, because this is it's such a Dallas is such a growing market. Obviously, the city is growing a lot, and there's a lot's been talked about as far as corporate headquarters moving here. But the quality of the relocation community in this area has leveled up tremendously. I moved here in 21, and what I've seen over the last 3 years,
I've only been here that long.
I mean,
I thought you were longer.
Yeah,
But that's wow.
I've been here off and on throughout my life because I was born here, but I grew up in New York. But they've all been really short stints, like less than a year. The last 2 times I was here, less than a year. But the way it's leveled up and the quality of events, and shout out to people like, Aaron Flores and Patience Hawley and Sherelle Kilgore and the good people at NTRP and such. But, now they're doing like all these social events, and they're doing more, new venues that are really cool and exciting. And then, Women of Global Mobility had a meetup last night, and we did one the year before, right?
I think this one was even more successful
Yeah,
than
I
the year
think so.
before. It went a lot smoother.
Yeah.
We knew what we were doing this time.
Yeah.
People came out, hung out, got some good food.
I look forward to a lot more of those type of events as
And
well.
see, like being here, like you said, all the same support people, right? Like
Mhm.
those were all the reasons that I chose Texas. When I was thinking, I was like, well, where do I have the best and
Yeah.
strongest network of
Yeah.
friends, of people that I trust in the industry,
Mhm.
but also like business wise, like who am I? Where do I want to network?
Mhm.
Where do I want to like? What's the next chapter? And I thought about California. We lived in California,
Yep.
and I was like, cost of living is crazy. How can you raise a family in California right now? It's so expensive.
I mean, Andy
And
Galecki does it. I don't know
Andy
how.
Galecki does do
He
it.
does a lot of things that I can't do. So
Like surf.
surf, watch what he eats. I mean, there are a lot of things that I just can't pull off, to be honest
We
with you.
were having a good
Love Andy
conversation.
Galecki
about-
over there.
He's over there
Been
waving.
next to Andy for like 2 days. So I gotta
You gotta throw
one.
him a curve. I was trying to get him to come on with me.
Yes.
but,
Gotta get
no
an
such
appearance.
luck.
I don't know. This is a lot of fun. We're running out of time. My feet are hurting. My back's hurting.
And you still got to get ready for the
No,
night.
I'm going home tonight. I'm not
Oh,
going to
come on.
Emma's. I know. Are you going to Emma's
I'm
tonight?
going to Emma's. I thought you were going to do red carpet. No red carpet?
No, this is as red as
Aw,
it gets.
man.
There's red tablecloth. That's
I
all we
should
got.
have brought my outfit so we could.
What are you wearing tonight? You got something special for us?
off Amazon. I think like all the girls are gonna have like, I'm pretty sure every woman
Dressed
is
by
gonna have the
Amazon.
exact same outfit, because like 3 people that I've talked to, that's just my official poll, right? 3 people
that's a sample.
have
That's
told
a
me
statistically valid
that
sample.
they've gotten the same dresses, and I'm like, well, we're all gonna look a bunch of fools because we're gonna wear the same thing. And
It's a
I
uniform.
got this little feather thing on my head, and I'm
I
like,
bet it's
yeah,
gonna be.
why not?
Well, there's enough variation on Amazon. I think you'd have
Not for 19s, 20s.
You'd have a higher likelihood of wearing the same outfit
I'm gonna take
if
pictures for you
everyone
tonight.
went to what's Forever 21 or something
No,
to pick
but
up
if
a
you
dress.
search, now see, we talked about this in one of the sessions. We were talking about knowing how to talk to computers,
right, like prompting
prompts, right?
Yeah.
So on Amazon, everyone did the same thing I did. 19s, 20s, flapper style dress.
Yeah.
Women, size, whatever.
Delivered by tomorrow.
Right, exactly.
That's a
exactly.
big filter.
And
yeah.
then, so like everyone did the same thing. And there was 2 dresses on Amazon. There was a black version, and anyone who's already searched knows this. There's a black version with sparkles. That's the one I got.
Yeah.
And then there's the green version with the little peacock feather. I mean, that was it. Those were the choices. So my prediction is that we're going to see a lot of peacocks tonight.
I've heard a lot about black sparkly dresses off Amazon, so you might be right. Stay tuned. See pictures
I'll
posted.
take pictures for you.
There will be lots of. Well, isn't that? I always heard that was like a woman's worst fear is going to a party and everybody
exactly.
wearing the same dress. Like there's nightmares about this.
We have 3 women on our team coming from GMS, and all 3 of us were talking about the exact same 2 dresses, and I think one of us are going to duplicate. So it is what it is.
Watch out.
We're just all going to look great.
There's going to be drama tonight.
You wear the same dresses. It might come down to the shoes. Like,
and
how are they going to choose the best dressed table, right? There's a best dressed table award. So how are they going to choose that when everyone looks the same? Well, it's going to come down to you men, what you guys are wearing.
Finally, it's about time. You know what?
So the tuxedos or the gangster outfits, I don't know. I'm scared.
Well, I think somebody's bringing a live Tommy gun. It's Texas after all.
I mean, I wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me here. I think I know who it is.
Just take the firing pin out. It's fine. Anyway, on that note, let's get out of here before we get canceled. Thanks everybody for watching. Get in the comments. Throw your comments in there. We got people checking in. Sandra, Doris, Brian, what's up? Hit that like button. It's good to have all y'all out here.
See y'all here later.
It's been a lot of fun from FEM America's Summit here in Dallas at the what is this called? The Warwick, or if you're British, Warwick, Melrose.
Nice.
Thanks, everybody. You like that?
I like
yeah,
that.
I'm
That
so
was
international. Good. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.